I'm Marc Elliot. I'm an inspirational speaker. I beat Tourette syndrome, and I was an instructor in NXIVM. Hello everybody, this is Marc Elliot here. Welcome back to the interview series, We Beat Tourette Syndrome Using Tools from NXIVM. This is the third part with Nick Letter. Hopefully you've seen the first and second part, but if this is your first one, as a quick rehash, after I started taking classes in NXIVM, I ended up beating my Tourette syndrome completely, mind over body, using the innovative talk therapy in NXIVM. And we ended up replicating those results with about 10 other people with severe Tourette syndrome. And it was all documented in a documentary called My Tourettes that came out in, that came out in 2018 in film festivals all around the world. And about 2 months ago, we re-released the documentary on YouTube for the whole world to see. In this third part with Nick, I went into more detail with him and asked him questions about, what did he actually go through? What was the process like? What was his experience of the team? And how is his life different now? Before we get to the interview, I just want to show a short clip, again, from the movie My Tourettes, which shows what Nick's life was like when he had severe Tourette's. Here we go.
When I was first told I had Tourette's, I was told that it was a neurological disorder that after that, I noticed more when I became more conscious about my schoolwork that it was harder for me to focus in class.
Okay, find something credible to tell me, why did all of a sudden in '92 the Soviet Union...
So without further ado, let's get to part 3.
I was treated incredible my whole time there. Nancy is one of the sweetest women I had ever met, and she was an incredible trainer while I was out there. Being able to work with the whole team was a gift on its own. And they were just incredible people that you want to spend time with. Even when I wasn't training, I would want to go to lunch with them. I would want to hang out with them. Just really cool, really genuine people. I did not pay a single dollar on that trip to New York. The process I went through most days was really just a series of conversations. It was talk therapy with my trainer that day. I would be in there and she would ask me, a series of different things, but the conversations we would have weren't conversations I'd just have on the street with a normal person. I would be sitting there and we'd be really digging tough questions, stuff that I'd never been asked, stuff I'd never really had to explore before, and just learned a lot about myself through the whole process while working with Nancy. There's a couple different moments that stand out when I think back to my time in Albany there. The first one being, while I was there training for my first time there for months, after day one, I remember being so exhausted, so mentally just ready to pass out, after Marc had come to me and told me about my number of ticks after timing me was down drastically. After day one, after 8 hours talking and working on myself with them, I just remember going in the bathroom and wanting to pass out. I was so mentally drained, and I just knew something was different. I hadn't taken 46 minutes on the timer, and then there was one other moment that I really realized things were different, and it was after my 3 months in New York. I went home and got off the plane and got to see my mom and some of my best friends, and they were all jaw-dropped. I wasn't taking it all. I was a completely different person, and I just had to look forward to the next year of high school, my senior year, showing up and being the new Nick. In any of my time in the Tourette's Project, working ESP and NXIVM, I was never forced to do anything. I was given the opportunity to go work on myself. Never once was it being held there, nothing. No, never forced for anything. I can confidently say I was never abused in my process with ESP. No, I can't believe this was a talk therapy. I mean, I was younger, I guess, but I'd never really experienced any talk therapy or anything to this level. And so I didn't really have any context to come from whether this stuff works, whether it doesn't work. Like I said, my only into it was seeing you and other people that had gone through it. to give me faith for it. But I walked in with an open mind, and I cannot believe what the tools with ESP was able to do through just a talk therapy, just a series of conversations over some time, for my life and my body and where I am now. If I was going to go like a number from 1 to 10 on where I was Tourette's before I went to ESP and where I'm at now, I think it's tough when seeing other people with tics because everyone has their own battle with it. But in my life, what it was doing to me, I was an 8 or 9. When I was fully out of control and flinging my head around and doing my thing, I was completely out of control. I felt like I was just at the whim of the world at that point. I'm trying to get through it, finish a tic, and move on to the next one. And that was what my day revolved around, finishing tics and hopefully taking a nap that afternoon so I can take a break from ticking. As opposed to now, I'd probably call it a 1 if I have to be on the scale, just because I can genuinely walk in any room and no one can know I have tics or that I had a Tourette's like I did. It's a completely different life I'm living now.
So we have one part left of this interview. In the last part, I talked to Nick about, with this incredible transformation and experience that he had with NXIVM. I asked him about, what has it been like for him to see and hear about all this controversy out there. I asked him about what does it feel and what does it mean to him that the Tourette's project has not moved forward? And lastly, what does he hope could be possible for the Tourette's project one day? So thanks for joining in this one, and we'll see you on the last one.